Okay, it's next time already. I'm on page 3 of the Declaratory Ruling. Again, this is downloadable at michigandnr.gov. I would recommend that you get this and go through this and start to understand the technique that they are using here. And I'll get into that a little bit further in the series. It's a well-known technique, but they didn't read the whole book on it. Believe me, they're not doing a very good job. So let's go through these. This is page 3. The paragraph before, you see that instead of putting 1, 2, 3, 4, they didn't. They just put a dot there, and that says something. But the paragraph before it says, DNR will use phenotype to identify Suescrofa and distinguish it from other species. Identification may include use of one or more of the following characteristics, and then in parentheses it says Mayer and Brisbane. Mayer, of course, is this guy here. So I guess these characteristics in the Declaratory Ruling come from the book, and we'll engage on that shortly. Okay, so it's saying if you have one or more of the following characteristics, the DNR is going to use that to say you have a feral pig, you're harboring an invasive species, you're in violation of the ISO, $10,000 per violation. And I did get a $700,000 fine, so I can tell you that they're serious about it. The word phenotype there, if you don't know, there's phenotype and genotype. Genotype would be if you did a blood sample and you did a genetic breakdown. The problem with that is they don't have enough data really to do that. It would take 20 years to gather that data to be able to say, okay, I've got some blood here. What is it? Whoa, this is a Poland, China. And they don't have that yet. It takes many, many years to do that, and they don't. They have it somewhat in some bovine, and they have it somewhat in dogs, but pigs, no, they don't, because there's no need for it. It will cost a lot of money to do it. All right, but the first characteristic, bristle tip coloration. These first two are not that fun, but I'll go through them. Suescrofa exhibit bristle tips that are lighter in color. Let me explain how a pig has hair on it. It has two different hairs. It has the outside guard hairs, which can be about that long, and they make dartboards out of them. They're pretty thick, probably about 10,000ths of an inch thick, and it's almost like a needle, all right? And they're on the outside. Then there's an inside fur. That's the underfur. The outside fur, the guard hairs, actually guard the animal when he's going through the brush. You know, it kind of sheds thorns and branches and stuff. The inside fur is the fur that's there for heating and cooling. All right? Okay, but they're saying the bristle tip coloration, those bristles on the tips, they're a little bit lighter than they are at the root. Just like in us, our hair's growing, especially us that are out in the sun all the time. The tips of our hair are lighter than where it is at the root. And they're saying that characteristic right there is enough to classify your pig as feral and whack you with a felony. Okay, next one. Dark point coloration. Again, this one's kind of nebulous, but Suescrofa exhibit points, distal portions of the snout, ears, legs, and tail that are dark brown to black in coloration and lack light colored tips on the bristles. Certain places on the pig, like when they lay down, they're not exposed to the sunlight, I guess. I think that's why it is. And those places on them, the hair is dark. It's just, but who knows why? Like, why is this fur right here darker than this fur? You know, who knows? It's maybe the sun doesn't hit it. I don't know. Maybe it's because when I spill spaghetti sauce on my beard, it turns it white. I don't know. But to say because a pig has darker spots on it than lighter spots, that it's a different species, That's absolutely ridiculous. And are we talking species here, or are we talking where the animals live? After all, a feral pig is a pig that lives outside the fence. Now, does it make any difference if that feral pig is a white pig? Is it still feral? Okay, go to the third one, and then we'll break it off to the next time. Coat coloration. Sus scrofa exhibit a number of coat coloration patterns. Patterns most frequently observed among wild feral hybrid types are wild grizzled, and again when we had to look into what is wild grizzled, you're a homeowner, or a farmer, you get this wild grizzled. How do I know if but that is like this, a little bit of white on the muzzle of the animal. It's usually when they get a little older, they get that. I didn't have this until a year ago. Next one, solid black. So solid black pig, that's an illegal pig. I got one of those, and he's a red wattle, and he's solid black. Solid red / brown, so I assume it's solid red or solid brown. Black and white spotted, black and red, or black and brown spotted. Okay, well, when I read this coat coloration, I got kind of a flag. And I got kind of a flag because I've been reading Dr. Jack's book. And there's a section in his book about coat coloration, and what I just read to you is in there verbatim, except when it gets down to here. And you see where I've highlighted it? And then where I'm not highlighted, it's where whoever wrote this, and I guess we were told that it was Shannon Hanna that wrote this, she left out some stuff that Dr. Jack Mayer had in his book. So Shannon, if you're going to quote the guy, I think you should quote the entire thing, not just pick and choose what you like, but she left out all white, entire coat completely white. She left that out. Well, that would be the confinement guys. Their pigs are white, and yeah, they have hair on them, and the hairs are all white. But you left that out. I wonder why you did that. Black with white shoulder belt. Black with white shoulder belt. So that would be black, white, and black. Like an Oreo. You know what that is? That's a Hampshire. Wonder why you left that out. Interesting. Black, brown, with white shoulder belt. Well, that's a Hereford, and you left that out. How about that? Red, brown, and white spotted. Coat with irregular red, brown, and white markings, including red, brown with white spots, and white with red and brown spots. I don't know what kind of pig that is, but there's a lot of description right there. Tricolored spotted, coat with irregular black, red, brown, and white markings, black with white points, coat black with white on ears and distal portions of rostrum, limbs, and tail, red, brown with white points. So, I mean, there's a lot of description here that whoever wrote this, I guess it was Shannon Von Hanna, left out. Kind of interesting why she left this out, and it kind of plays right into my theory of maybe why they don't want Dr. Jack Mayer to come and testify about his work with this pig. Okay, we'll cut it off right there. Talk to you next time.